Hello. It's been a while since I posted anything, so because I've been away and doing various things, but I did want to touch on one of the lectionary readings for this Sunday, which won't be preached on Sunday, so I thought I'd explore it a little bit. And particularly since we're in the middle of the summer, we are a number of months into this journey, and there's a little bit of uptick in BC and other places. A really scary thing happened in the United States, and it seems to me what we need now is encouragement to hang in there and keep ourselves safe. So here's the reading I wanted to look at. It's from Matthew chapter 13, 31 to 33. And Jesus put before them another story, another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed that someone took and sowed in the field. It is the smallest of seeds, but when it is grown, it is the greatest of shrubs and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and makes nests in the branches. And then he told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like the yeast that a woman took and mixed in with 3 measures of flour until all of it was leavened. Recently, like many of you I'm sure, I have been making bread. Now I admit that I use a bread maker, but I usually mix it all up in the bread maker, take it out, warm it up on the oven, let it rise on the stove top, and then put it in the oven. No matter. My point I wanted to make about this is early on this adventure we had, there started to be a shortage of bread yeast. I had the bread maker bread yeast, and then I ran out, and then I had some yeast my sister graciously gave me, but the little globs of yeast were bigger because it was bread yeast, but it wasn't for a bread maker. So I used that once, and the loaf didn't rise as much. So what I learned is I had to put it first in a little bit of warm water, let it dissolve, stir it up, and then put it in, and then the bread rose just fine. Here's the idea. Okay. The yeast had to be broken apart, had to be torn apart to be able to do its job, to be able to get into everything. And I think there's a little bit of a piece of that in our world. The idea that in order for there to be real change, real growth, for there to be an expansion of the kingdom of heaven in our world, expansion of the love of God in our world, we need to break apart the things that hold us closed together, locked up. Because, in fact, most of our time in the last years, when everything is sort of normal, have been allowing us to draw in and close in. Maybe during this time of the pandemic, you've learned just how important it is to take care of your family and friends. Just how important it is to get away from the old way of doing things and open yourself up to doing new things. Just how important it is to break down the shells, let your limitations dissolve, so that all your love can spread out amongst all that are around you and leaven into something new. The kingdom of heaven, Jesus says, is already here, very close. He says it's like the mustard seed. It's tiny and it grows into something large. It's like the yeast goes into the bread, into the wheat, into the flour, and it becomes something much larger. Something small to something larger. So there's no question when we talk about this pandemic that this is something small, but this is big, right? It is. There's a whole lot going on. But the question is, or the idea is, that in fact it's an opportunity to dissolve away our limitations and our hardened shells so that we can see the importance of changing the way we live, the way we do the world, the way we function in society. And we put the value on the things that are truly valuable. Love, family, friendship, connection, community, caring for the world, caring for creation, caring for one another, caring for the neighbor, Jesus said so many times, look, love your neighbor. Love your neighbor like you'd love yourself. Care for the other. Do unto others. And all those things, right? We all know those things. Excuse my cough. That's not a COVID-19 cough. It's just a talking too fast cough. Maybe because I'm kind of keen on this. That the world's going to change. That this pandemic, this COVID-19 thing is going to change the world. We're not even halfway through. There's lots to do now. There's lots going ahead. We're sort of kicking into this big time second wave in the United States and a little bit of an uptick here right now in BC. Will it flatten off and go back down? I hope so. I suspect so. I'm trusting our population, all of us, our communities, to step up and make sure, right? We want our kids back at school. We want to go back to work. We want to go back to visiting our friends. And eventually we want to come back to worshiping in church and singing our songs of faith. So here's the seed. Here's the yeast. Our love. Our love for one another that has been profoundly shown in this pandemic time, the importance of it, right? That's the seed. That's the hope. That's what will make the bread expand, that'll feed the people. That's the seed that'll grow the large shrub, bush, tree that'll provide homes for the world. Love. That's the love. You can see I put a new banner up in the church. It says, quoting Paul's letter to the Corinthians, faith, hope, and love abide, will last, and the greatest of these is love. The seed of the kingdom of heaven is our love out into the world. The yeast of the kingdom of heaven is our love that'll spark and bring more love to spread out and heal the world. I believe it. I trust you're part of it. I know I'm part of it. I hope that what we seed will bring hope and love to the world. Blessings, friends. Thanks for listening.